They're there and they're always there. And God bless everyone.
The Four Leaf Clover podcast is sponsored by Planet Celtic.
Good evening. How are we getting on, folks?
Legends.
Fabulous Friday, mate. Fabulous Friday. I love Fridays so much. See, when it gets to Friday, I know I've got a couple of days out of that truck, man. There's just nothing better. Nothing better. I had my dinner the night as well. I'm not waiting till later on to get something to eat, so I'm fed, watered, ready to go.
Good man. I'm no watered yet. I'm trying my hardest, Andy, but I'm no watered yet. I'm definitely fed, but I'm no watered. Paddy, how's your week been, sir?
Aye, all good, Scotty. Aye, busy enough week at work and then the pod after the game, but the performance the other night helped to speed the week along nicely. So going in on Thursday morning was skipping into work like a young fella I was on Thursday morning. So been a good week. So looking forward to the game tomorrow. So
aye, some performance on Wednesday night. So no wonder you're skipping into work. And Kaiser, you were in Gracie's Balladie, I believe, meeting a friend off another podcast. Is that right?
Yeah, spot on, legend. I was actually in Gracie's meeting David from Bangkok, who is part of the Thai Tims and the singing group that everyone knows, famous from Celtic. He provided me this shirt, part of the Bangkok fan group and the Thai Tims fan group. He was like, make sure you get the Thai Tims a shout out, Kaiser. Everyone loves the Thai Tims. He told me the story of the foundation of the Thai Tims. A little couple of beers in Gracie's, singing some Celtic songs, all the good stuff. What a time. What a guy.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Love to hear that sort of stuff. And big shout out to the Thai Tims. They've been gone for years now, and it's great work that they do over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Friday Focus on the Four Leaf Clover podcast. We've got a busy podcast for you again this evening. We've got a conundrum. We've got Andy's The Voice segment as well. And we're going to talk about the Raith Rovers game. And maybe even touch on a wee bit of the Bayern Munich game as well. Because we'll not really get the chance to do it before the game. So we could maybe have a wee chat about that as well. So first up, ladies and gentlemen, is...
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening indeed. So a couple of things... I've came out the club today. If you watched Brendan Rodgers' press conference and Big Schloop as well, had his press conference as well, and he spoke very well, and it looks like he's loving things at Celtic. So the first thing that was brought up today by Brendan was that Kasper Schmeichel is definitely out of tomorrow's game. So Sinisolo is going to get his debut for Celtic. So Andy, what are you thinking about that news?
It's a bit time as well. Casper's not injured. He's just getting a wee rest. I don't think he's injured anyway. Just getting him a rest. Perfect opportunity to bring in kind of outlying players that don't normally get a start in the team. I think we were going to call that anyway. Sinisolo playing midnight. It's just such a coincidence that Casper's picked up a wee injury there, which is nonsense. Yeah. That's nonsense. I think, and that's not going to be the only change in the team. I think we're going to see quite a few changes. That's the games that's you're going to use your squad in it. You know, we think we've got a half decent squad, and we should. Well, Celtic, we should have a big enough and better squad to beat Raith without any major worries. I'd imagine.
Aye, and Paddy did say that he's going to be fit for Wednesday, so it's not as if it's any sort of massive injury. I've got to concur with what Andy said. He's probably just resting him anyway, and I think we expected Sinisolo to start, mate, but good news to see the wee man in, and hopefully he's been picking up some tips off Kasper.
It's good to see him getting an opportunity, Scott, and as Andy said, he won't be the only one tomorrow. I firmly believe he won't be the only one in the squad. Kasper does have a wee bit of I think he got a nudge in the back, but it's nothing too serious. I would suspect if we need it in tomorrow, he'd be between the six as usual, but the big game coming up on Wednesday night, he just doesn't want to take any chances at all, so it's good to see Sinisolo getting a chance. We usually, yourself, we're usually right behind the goal at the games, and we've been watching the warm-ups quite closely. And he does seem to be a decent keeper from what I've seen in the warm-ups. He seems to be a decent young keeper. Good pair of hands on him and stuff. So it'll be nice to see him in action. Big crowd, cup tie, chance for him to, for us to get a look at him and for him to get a wee run out in the first team. So. good all round. But absolutely no doubt about it. He's just protecting Casper for Wednesday night.
Yeah. And Kaiser, I've been watching your new shows that have been on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 11:30 in the morning, mate. So well done for them. They've been brilliant. One of the things you were talking about was you didn't think there'd be wholesale changes, and I sort of disagreed with you. I thought there would be. And I said Solo straight away would come in for Schmeichel, and I'm expecting wholesale changes tomorrow. So, I mean, when you heard that news today, was that a bit of a surprise for yourself as well?
No, Scotty, it wasn't. As you said yourself, mate, you double entendres it. You were the first one who even pitched it and says, what do you think is going to happen, Kaiser? And I was away with it, wasn't I? I was like, I think we'll go full strength. Why adjust it? We've got this big game coming up. But Scotty, the man as usual, proves he's the master of lateral thinking. That's what it's all about in these podcast legends. We don't always agree. It's not an echo chamber. We're here to disagree. That's what it's all about. I thought Brendan was the same. Scotty, aye, we are, Scotty thought we would rotate, and Scotty's proving correctly there. The first one he did say was Sinisalo. When are we ever going to get a look at him? This seems like a prime opportunity. And as we know, Casper is coming down with a case of the OAPs. We heard Brendan say he's getting old, you know. A wee day off, or a wee Withers original. A wee day off.
They're cracking sweeties, by the way. Love them. See the ones with the wee kind of cream in the middle, man. Oh, brilliant.
Just remind me of the old woman that followed me about the supermarkets.
We're not going to begrudge Casper a wee day off anyway, that's for sure. That's for sure. So something else that came out today as well, there was reports that Greg Taylor had already signed for Dinamo Zagreb, Andy. And it's became apparent today again at Brendan's press conference that no such deal has happened. And Brendan's made it very, very clear that he sees Greg Taylor staying and wants him to be in his plans. I think we can safely say that we're not going to get 60 games a season out of Kieran Tierney. So regardless, we're going to need a solid left back as backup, or if KT indeed does get injured again. I know that Schlupp can play there, and the way it's looking, I think he'll be happy to hang about, mate, if Taylor doesn't. But what did you make of that news today? It looked like he was off, and then today it looks like there's a chance he could be still getting offered new terms.
The thing is, if something's not been signed, then it's not been signed. There might have been an agreement there, but he's certainly not going to come out and he doesn't have to tell Celtic anything. He's a free agent to do whatever he wants, and that's up to Celtic to sort out. Personally, in my opinion, if somebody doesn't want to be here, then see you later. If it was up to me, if we were in a better position when it comes to players in that position, he wouldn't be playing. No matter how good he is or how committed he is, and I totally agree, I think he gives 100% commitment. But if you've got a player there that can seriously take his place, he's not playing for the rest of the time he's at Celtic. He's not committed to being here. And I've got absolutely no problem with that. And I think if Schlupp comes in and does a job, you can see Taylor being out of the team. So I think I want to see players in the team that want to be here. Whether he is going to Zagreb, again, I heard he was wanting to go to America. I think we all did that. There was word of that getting about his wife wanted to go to America. So that's a very strange move for me, for Taylor to go there. But listen, if he goes, he goes. That's it. I think we're getting KT in for the start of the season, or at the end of the season, at the end of this season. And as you said, we're going to need backup. But if Schlupp comes in there, I'm quite happy with that. I think he's on 60 grand a week now. Celtic are paying half his wages, so that's 30 grand a week. But he's coming to the end of his contract. Is he going to... They could get him down to, say, I don't know, for talking sake, they'll know Celtic want to be paying him 60 grand a week, that's for sure, if he was to stay on at Celtic. But is he going to get that anywhere else? You know, he's 32-year-old. By the time his contract's up, he's into his 33rd year. So it might be a good move for him. All right, he'd be taking a drop in wages and would be the understudy to KT, I'd imagine. But also the good thing with Schlupp is the fact that he can cover various positions as well. So he could fill in here and there when needed. So he might get more game time than what he actually thinks if he's stuck to one position. So I think as a utility type player where he can cover various positions and experience, and he's quite a physical guy. You know, he's quite a big guy, looks a big unit. I think he's actually, as much as Nanny's knew that this was going to happen with Sloop, I think it's a good signing.
Aye, I mean the big guy looks class, and like I said, he's definitely took to Celtic. I watched his press conference today, Paddy, and you know he's loving it already, mate. He's absolutely loving it, and I don't think he would be a bad signing, you know, to get on a pre-contract now. Get the guy signed up, because as Andy said, he can play everywhere really on the pitch. He can play in every position. But the news coming out today is that our Greg still hasn't signed a contract with anybody, a pre-contract with anybody. It seems to be dragging on a bit now, Paddy, doesn't it? But for me, I think it's good news that there's a chance we could actually keep him in the end.
I think what it does show, Scott, I think it's a positive thing for us, because I think if he was going to sign a deal with somebody, it would have been done during the window. I know he's not under any pressure or any great strain or anything out there, but I think the fact that he's still a Celtic player and he hasn't signed a deal with anybody else, I'm sure there was more than Dynamo Zagreb that were making offers for him. Pretty sure there were probably more clubs making offers for him as well. But you know, maybe there is an argument there that he does want to stay at Celtic. You know, and we talked about it ourselves, you know, before in the run up to Christmas there about, you know, maybe he was hearing all the talk about KT and stuff. But you know what? If he's listened to Brendan over the last couple of weeks, he's saying that just what we've said about every player in every position. We're not actually trying to physically replace anybody. You know what I mean? We're bringing in other players to try and help the players that are there and to push them on and improve them and help them develop. And biggest of all, to give them a bit of a breather. You know what I mean? So if you had Kieran Tierney and Greg Taylor to share the workload of the games that are across the whole season. So imagine you start next season with Greg Taylor and Kieran Tierney. You know, it's perfectly possible that we could end up playing 60, 70 games next year if you include internationals and stuff like that as well. You know, so there's a chance for them to, you know, for them to split sort of 60 games between them. You know what I mean? And you know, when you look at the games that we have here, especially the run of games that we're on at the minute, you know, it would be brilliant to have another left back there to come in and take a bit of the strain off Taylor. And again, just we're looking at this game there on Wednesday night, and I know you have to always play the game that's in front of you, but there's absolutely no question, because of this game and the enormity of it and the importance of it. There's no question in my mind that Brendan will absolutely be looking towards this game tomorrow when he picks the team tomorrow. It's probably the one and only time he's done that in a long, long time, because he does tend to focus on the game in front of him. But because of this game coming up, he's looking at that, and that's exactly what he's doing. So the more players that are available to in every position, that's going to benefit him, because he's going to be able to give guys minutes in the legs if they need them, and he's going to be able to give guys a wee rest if they need them as well, which is exactly what he's doing with Schmeichel. So I honestly think it's a good thing, Scotty. I honestly think it's a good thing. I, for one, have been, I'm a fan of Greg Taylor. Yes, he has his limitations. There's absolutely no question about that, but he's not the only player in the Celtic squad that has his limitations. You know, and I think sometimes he gets a bit of unfair stick just because of that. But I like Greg Taylor, and when you look at what he's won, look at the medals he's won, look at the teams and the success he's been involved in. He's been a big part of the Celtic success. So I would be delighted to see Greg Taylor stay in, and I honestly firmly believe that this, you know, the fact that he hasn't signed for anybody is a good thing. You know, and Brendan coming out saying that, you know, he would like to have the two of them, that might just reassure him.
Yeah, and Kaiser, I'll be honest with you, mate. I thought he was off because it's been dragging on for so long, but after what Brendan said today, you know, I'm kind of siding to him staying now, to be honest with you. Because why has he not signed a deal with another club? You know, maybe he is weighing up all his options, and him and KT will be mates from Scotland set up in that as well. So he knows that KT is not going to play 40, 50 games. So he knows he's going to get his opportunity. But another thing about Greg Taylor that fails to get mentioned for me is his injury record is brilliant. You know, he never gets injured. Never ever gets injured. So what's your thoughts on it then, Kaiser? Would you like to see Greg Taylor sign a new deal and hanging about?
For me, right, whatever Greg Taylor chooses to do, it is firmly his own decision. I think he's dedicated himself to our club. He's gave us a lot of good games, a lot of good performances. He's been here for a while. I wouldn't grudge him if it was Dynamo Zagreb, another Champions League team. Okay, they went out at the first section of the Champions League, but another Champions League side maybe wants to prove himself that he is a Champions League player, because it's one thing the Celtic support label at him. Maybe he doesn't want to say that he's already signed a pre-contract, because the Celtic support absolutely club him like he's a baby seal if he even hints that he's done something wrong. Maybe he wants to keep it secret until the summer and then just move on. For me, it's a very interesting move. If Dynamo Zagreb is the move, a competitive league, a competitive side, very interesting move for Greg to have chosen that, and no doubt he has several suitors in the English Championship who he could play maybe at a level where he would find it easy. Let's just be clear about Greg Taylor, in my opinion, right? Greg Taylor is a fantastic defender. His fitness record stands paramount. Scotty says it there, hit the nail on the head. He's a marvellous player for our club. We would do well to keep him. He's the way he inverts, the way he can play through midfield. It's no wonder we had to bring in Schlupp there as a cover, and he is so versatile while being physical. That is just to cover Greg Taylor, in my opinion. I think Schlupp is the alternative option. If you're looking at that 50-50, then the manager's sort of taking the pressure off of Taylor and going, whatever you choose, we have cover. If you choose to go, we have cover. As Andy said, Schlupp's on about 60 grand a week right now, playing in the English Premiership, but now he's in the Scottish Premiership, and if he is working with Kieran Tierney, he will be playing half the amount of games, so 30 grand for half the amount of games doesn't seem like that bad a shout, does it? Celtic could certainly afford that and bring him in and keep him here. We could certainly afford Greg Taylor's wages as well. It's a very interesting situation. The ball firmly seems to be in Greg Taylor's court. Brendan put out a message asking the fans to show Greg some support. We did still sing other players' names, but we still showed Greg's support as well. The fans pretty much like him. He's a polarising figure. We're all for him if he's all for us, and we're all against him if he's not for us. Basically, get with it or get going.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. I seen a message there about our Jerry. Our Jerry's busy tonight. He's got a lot of work on since the recent storm. So, as you know, he's got a scaffolding business. So, a lot of roof damage around the west coast of Scotland, and our Jerry is on top of it. So, he'll be back with us hopefully for Wednesday night's pod after
Jerry just out there dripping in gold.
In fact, no, he'll be at the game, won't he? He'll be at the Bayern Munich game. I think he's got to the Bayern Munich game. So
we'll not
see your Jerry till next Friday, folks. So we'll definitely, he'll be watching this anyway. So you'll see.
I just want to ask the commenters. We can look on the comments as we go along in the show. But who's going to Munich? Who's going to go to the game in Munich? Because as we know, the fans are going now. So any of you guys going?
Well, I would love to go.
I'll not be at that one. I'll be at the home game, but not the away one.
If you took your camper with you, Paddy, that'd be some journey, wouldn't it?
Oh, don't think for 1 second that we haven't thought about it, Andy. We've got
a camper through Glasgow, Paddy. Pick the Kaiser up.
There you
go.
Aye.
So talking about the Champions League anyway, there was 3 new inclusions in the Champions League squad, and the 3 are Jota, Kenny and Schlupp. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was...
What's happening?
A couple of things that have been happening around Celtic today, and that was them. So, ladies and gentlemen, there was a wee game the other night, Andy, and it finished incredibly. Celtic 6, Dundee 0. We were absolutely on fire. The big talking point before the game started was our friend, our George Michael there on the left-hand side, actually starting the game, which was a bit of a shock for everybody. We heard that he was about 60-70% fitness. But he certainly didn't look that Andy, did he, when he came in? He had a brilliant game, and he wasn't the only one. Just a fantastic performance for the boys on Wednesday night.
I just want to touch on this comment for Smell the Glove. That's what Johnny Kenny looks like. I know I thought the same when I seen his picture. I know he's been on the park a couple of times, but I actually didn't know what he actually looked like proper close up. I just touching on the game, obviously, Jota. We were told he was going to take a few weeks to get up to. We already spoke about this in the post-match. We'll just go at it again. It was going to take a few weeks for his fitness and that, but he certainly looks in good condition. Looks well up for it. And I think that particularly that boy put out for Midas' first goal. Was his first goal, wasn't it, the header?
Yeah.
Aye. Was a great ball. And I'd mentioned this as well, you know, that's what you don't get off of Young, and that's what you don't get off of Palmer, is boys like that. I think really so happy to see Jota back. And as much as we can moan about the transfer window, I think we've done all right in the transfer window. A striker short, but other than that, great business. Great business to get a guy back that you sold for 25 million, 18 months ago, something like that. You know, and you're getting him back at a very, very good age. He's 25. So, you know, he's got a lot of years left on him. He's not even got to his best part of his career yet. So we've got that to come. Absolutely delighted to see him back. And overall, the team during the week, everything just flowed perfectly. It was like total football, actually. And that goal where Maida's second goal, where it was down the corner flag, and it was 5 passes and it was in a goal or something like that. It was just majestic football. Really, really bright and alert and on their game. And that man Maida is just, I love that guy so much. He's so pivotal in our team. And I'm going to repeat myself. I keep repeating myself. See, when he's no longer at our club or in our team, you are going to see a big difference, because there isn't a player in the world that works like him on tracking back, putting centre backs under pressure. And when the ball gets out of his head and it's attacking our full back, he's back there trying to get the ball back. There's nobody else in world football works as hard as him. He should be worth about 60, 70 grand a week, Dyson Maida. That's what we should be paying him. He's definitely worth it. I love Dyson Maida. He's one, I know he signed a new deal not too long ago, but I'd be looking to say, look, you deserve a wage rise, and there's another couple of years on top of your deal as well.
Aye, Paddy, it was unbelievable to watch. It wasn't just Maida that was on fire. Engels was absolutely brilliant. Adamida scored again. Brilliant finish for the big man, and you know, you can see he's got his confidence now. He's done his big knee slide. You know, he was actually celebrating this goal. Feels like he's a part of the team in that now, I would imagine. But getting these goals, he's banging them in now. Just the full team were absolutely fantastic to watch, mate. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Champagne football, Scotty. That's what it was. It was fantastic and great to see. And you know, we said it during the week that it helped to lift the sort of the bit of the gloom that was left after the transfer window closed, and we maybe didn't get the striker that we thought we were going to get. So it was just the perfect tonic after that. So again, it just shows you the strength that we have in the squad. You know, and even the guys coming in, Anthony Ralston coming in for Johnson, you know, coming in and producing the goods. You know, but on the night, I thought it was fantastic, and you know, Dyson Maida and Arne Engels, you know, just two outstanding players. You know, and as I say, I think you can see now a lot of people were sort of questioning the £11 million for Engels, but when you see the last couple of games, you can see why we paid the money. The guy's quality, absolute quality, and you know, I don't even know what you would use to describe Tyson. He just gets better and better. The wee guy just gets better and better with age. He's finished the other night was as good as anything we've seen in a Celtic shirt from anybody. The lob was, I said it on Wednesday night, the lob was Larson-esque. If you had seen Larson doing that, you wouldn't have bat an eyelid. Fantastic finish, but the movement as well, the movement to open up the pass for Engels. You know, that's what makes it. You know, the pass was fantastic, but it's Dyson's movement. You know, and somebody said that there. You know, like I think it was the 91st minute, he was still coming back. You know, whatever time the game was, he still tracks back. He's still chasing back. He's still harrying the opposition players. You know, when you're leading 4-0, you're leading 6-0, whatever. He's still going like. He's just non-stop, and I don't know where the wee man gets his energy from, you know, because you can see the other guys coming off the field, literally dripping in sweat and hardly fit to walk, and Maida's still firing around, you know what I mean? So, listen, he's just an unbelievable player, and he's getting better and better for us. And you know what I actually think? I think you might actually see the best of him now, and that, you know, maybe there's a bit of Maida feeling that, you know, now that Kyogo's gone, I have to be the man to step up here. You know what I mean? And that's what it's looked like to me over the last couple of games, particularly at Motherwell last weekend. And then again the other night, he's putting himself in there. He's getting into the positions, and he's not only getting in there. When he gets in there, he scores. You know, so just an all-round brilliant performance. You know, brilliant night, brilliant performance to cheer the fans up. And as I say, now as we head into this busy spell of games, it was just a perfect start for us.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And one of the things that Paddy and Andy mentioned there, Kaiser, was the effect from the wingers, the midfielders, you know, what they're all doing. You know, you can say Hatate was brilliant, Engels was brilliant, Kalmak, the wingers, the assists, the goals. Do we actually need a striker with the support players that we've got? Everybody's just doing their job, mate, and banging them in. It was just unbelievable to watch the other night, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're spot on, Scotty. It stands paramount. Have we been playing with a striker? How many goal contributions does Kyogo have this season so far? Big Adamida up there now. We certainly seem to be playing with a striker. No offence, but as we all have seen, everyone knows, everyone can see it. Daisen Maeda is in the form of his life. I mean, wow. Utterly devastating form this guy is in. The more I watch him, the angrier I get at his little kick out that sees him miss the first game at Paradise. The angrier and angrier I get, because I'm like, this guy is primed to tear them apart. His pace, his power, his directness, his finishing ability, the way he seems to have, he's found the zen. He's found the zen in Daisen. He's found that field where he just, as Paddy says, Larson-esque finish, just lobs the keeper there. Utterly impeccable. And as you've hinted to as well, Scotty, Hatate really raising his game. Sometimes Hatate can be Deadwood Hatate, and sometimes it's Hollywood Hatate. What we're seeing now is Hollywood Hatate, and it's not just limited to these players, it's every player. The subs that come on as well. When Kuhn came on, the way he threw down the gauntlet, finished his, an impeccable strike from him as well. German engineering at its finest. Voichbrondok technique there, right in the corner. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I can't sing Celtic's praises enough. It's the kind of thing that's got me swaggering down the street, dancing on the balls of my toes when I see anyone going, I think we'll do fine in the Champions League. Don't you worry about us, we'll be okay.
Yeah, unbelievable, mate. It just was. And we go back to 13 points clear at the top of the table. Absolutely. Andy, go for it.
Aye, it's just I want to touch on this comment here. Lorna and Michelle are having a conversation about having a Lamb night, and obviously being George Michael fans. There's a guy called Rob Lamberti, right? He's a George Michael lookalike. I think I sent you guys a video of him. Probably the best thing you can get if obviously your George isn't about anymore. Mm-hmm. The guy is absolutely superb. I think he's on TikTok now. Me and the missus are going to see him at the Barras in May, I think it is. He's doing a concert there. The guy is superb, honestly.
And Kaiser's here for that.
Aye.
Let's go.
You'll get Michelle and Lorna all hot and bothered.
Very good. But I just wanted to mention that, like, if they weren't there, if they weren't aware, the guy's brilliant. He's on TikTok actually, so have a wee look. He's brilliant. I think he was on The Voice America or something like that. He was on something like that as well. Guy's brilliant. He's from England. He's a spitting image of him. Check him out on TikTok. He's brilliant. Rob Lamberti. Very good.
Keeping the ladies in there, no siphoning them off somewhere else.
So there is the updated league table then, ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying before, Andy rudely interrupted me there with tickets for a George Michael half wish. 13 points clear at the top of the table. Another 6 goals on top for us. As Brendan Rodgers said, it's like another point. You know, we're just absolutely flying, and that is the updated league table. So what I want to move on to now, guys, is the actual transfer window. Now we know it's been slammed shut. Let's take a look at Celtic's overall business then in the January transfer window. So incomings was obviously Jota and Schlupp. Andy, those two signings, mate, we'll get on to the ones that we lost, but two brilliant signings for Brendan, eh?
Aye, superb. Especially Jota. We'd kind of spoke about it a wee bit, jokingly thinking it could happen, and then it actually did happen. I think that they were trying to claim it that Nicole deal weren't they connected in any way. I think there's got to be some connection there. They just so happen to be transferred at the same time between the same clubs. So there's virtually no money changing hands just about. Obviously we get more for Kyogo than what Jota cost us. Great business with Celtic. You can moan your guts off about whether you think we're short in this window or no. And I think Brendan's openly admitted that. Well, certainly with his conference, he's almost getting you to read between the lines there, but it's a guarded message that he isn't happy, but he's decided to no say anything about it. But just obviously we were talking in the chat and saying, well, why no? If you're not happy, then say something. I mean, you weren't happy last time you walked away. Surely you're in a better position with the fans, especially that they know that if you weren't happy, they're going to back you up because they can see it as well. So just come out and say it. If they're not up to the task, the guys that are in charge of bringing players in, something's got to change. Tisdale, no heard anything about him. Don't know what he does. You've got an 80-year-old scout. And not being ageist, because I'm not the youngest myself, but you're thinking you're looking at somebody maybe a wee bit more kind of modern eyes in modern football with the type of player that we'd be looking for. So again, that was another kind of strange appointment for Celtic. You hear very little about Tisdale at all in any way. So there's a lot of guarded information. I don't expect Celtic to come out and tell you every single thing they're doing, but keep us on the loop a wee bit, and because that's when speculation starts and all that kind of stuff and mad stories start. You don't need to tell us everything. Just put what's Tisdale doing? What's he been looking at as what's his actual job? Because there's no evidence of him doing anything. I don't think. Schlupp is somebody that Brendan knows for down south, and Jota is a player that we had here before. So where's the scope for recruitment? It's very, very short-sighted.
No, mate, you're absolutely bang on with that. Paddy, he's hit the nail on the head there with that, mate. It's not as if these two players have been scouted, really, is it? Brendan knew Schlupp, and we all knew about Jota. So what players has this guy Tisdale identified? Kit's Garden as well. We've known about him. He's been linked to every transfer window like Robbie Keane used to be, like Everyday used to be, back in the day. Yeah, so it's not as if these players are new and coming out the woodwork. It's players that we already know about. So, I mean, just looking at the transfer window, mate, just incomings there in January. Happy with that business?
Well, you have to be now, Scotty. The window's closed and there's not much more we can do about it now. But certainly not happy at the time. The reasons why we didn't get a striker in, I have no idea, because as Andy said, they haven't actually come out and told us. Kyogo apparently told them in the summertime that he wanted away, and Brendan then said, right, we'll do our best to accommodate you. It'll probably be January, but we will do our best. So they've known since June, July, whatever month it was when Kyogo told them he wanted to go away. And the quote that he made was that, we didn't sign a striker because some things just didn't fall for us. Well, that's a hell of a long time for things not to have just fall for you. The Kvistgarten one I can understand. When we first looked at the guy, they were talking 4 million, then it went up to 8, and I think it ended up at something like 14 million. So I knew as soon as I heard the talk of 10 million, north of 10 million, I knew that Celtic wouldn't be. There's no way that Celtic would close a deal for a player from Denmark at that money. Not happening. But I mean, there were plenty of other players. There was one or two other ones that caught my eye, for want of a better word. I saw the guy, Joao Felix, that played for Chelsea. He went to AC Milan on loan for the rest of the season for 5 million.
Crazy. Crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy.
Like, why were we not involved in that shit? You know what I mean? It shows you that there are players out there. It would have cost a lot of money. But you know what? Look at the lift that would have given the supporters if they had brought a player like that in. You know what I mean? And I'm only using him as an example. I'm not saying we should have went and got him, but that was, that was a testimony that there were players there available and players could have gone. We're still in the Champions League. You know what I mean? There's a chance of another 2 medals for anybody that comes here this season. Jeffrey Schlupp has only ever won 1 medal in his life. He's about to probably make that 3 medals if he sticks in this season. So listen, it is what it is. But I was disappointed that they didn't replace Kyogo, and the reason I'm disappointed is because they had so long. Listen, if Kyogo had said to him a week before the end of the winter that I want away, that would have been different. But they've known, they knew since the summertime. So this begs the question: what exactly is the recruitment team? What do they do? How do they function? What's the process here? So we were told there was a list of players, and if they didn't get that one, they move on to that. Well, I'm sorry, Jeffrey Schlupp has been available since the start of this season. So, and if Jeffrey Schlupp was the man that they were looking for, why did it take until 11 o'clock on the day of the deadline? Why did it take? And that's, as Andy says, all that does is lead you to believe that this is a panic. This is a panic. Well, we need to get somebody. We need to get somebody.
I seen an interview with Schlupp today, and he said that he found out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On deadline day. So
and this guy was the left back when Leicester won the league under Claudio Ranieri. He was the left back when they won their first ever championship, and then obviously Brendan was the manager there as well. So he's known him, he's known about him. So if the recruitment team are doing their job properly, he will know all about these players, and that's what I think. We all saw that the other night. Jeffrey Schlupp has hardly kicked the ball this season. You can see that why. You can see that when he came on the other night. I said to you, he looks badly out of shape, and that's why, because he hasn't kicked the ball. So there again, if the recruitment team was doing their homework, we could have signed Jeffrey Schlupp on the first day of the window. You know what I mean? So I don't understand. So as Andy said, it would be just be nice for them to come out and say, look, this is how it works here. This is what it works. And my biggest fear was that that Brendan was going to get to a point where he maybe got frustrated, but then the window closes and he comes out and he basically toes the party line, which is disappointing. But these top class football managers have all these confidentiality clauses inserted in their contract, and they're basically not allowed to do that. That's what it is. I'm sure there are times when he would like to come out and say this, but he has to be very careful by what he says. But you could tell by he knew he was disappointed. But as we said earlier, the best way to blow that disappointment away was to come out and put on a performance against Dundee, and that's exactly what they done. And I think at least for that 90 minutes, it made us all forget about the transfer window.
Yeah, couple of cracking points there off the guys there, Kaiser. Not even a couple, a few. One that popped up there on the comment section that caught my eye was one off Michelle about a centre half. I know Paddy's mentioned it on previous podcasts and that as well. I seen a stat, I think it was today, I seen it, that the amount of away games, European games that Cameron Carter-Vickers has missed has been pretty shocking, to be fair. There's been quite a few. So not just the news about the striker. Would you like to have seen another centre half come in as well, mate?
Yeah, you're pretty accurate there. I think it's up in the 50-50 figures for CCV when it comes to Champions League ties. I would like to talk about the window and just caveat it from a different point of view for the lads, right? Because as we all know, no one likes to hang around in echo chambers. And I agree with tons of what the lads are saying there. Everything that they're saying actually is spot on. Paddy as well, bringing up fantastic points. I kind of look at it from the point of view of, right, Mark Nicholson's my dad and Peter Lawwell's my ma. And I've went to my dad and went, I want a new pair of Predators, Dad. I need them to score goals. I'm the bomb, right? I need these boots. And my dad's elbowing me and he's going, look, we'll see about that, son. My ma comes to watch me. 2 goals get rattled in. I score into the best keeper in the world. My ma goes, you could play with neighbours, son. You don't need Predators. That's what's happening there. Brendan's asking for a striker. Peter Lawwell, Mark Nicholson's playing the mammy and daddy. Mark Nicholson's gone, we can do it, Brendan. Whatever you want, we're here to support you. We're fucking here for that. I'll get you whatever you need. We've got the football doctor. We've got fucking 80-year-old scout. There's not a player he does not know, from Pele to fucking Donny, from the Wayne Alley. You know what I mean? He knows everybody. He'll scout the lot. We're going to streamline the squad. We're going to cut off all the chaff, all the dead wood. We're going to be absolutely streamlined and ready to move in the summer to acquire you everything you need. But why should I go and equip you with these brand new strikers when you've got a striker there who's just rattled 2 goals into one of the best goalkeepers in the world? Now, if I walked into your office tomorrow morning and said to you, Brendan, I'm going to equip you with a striker who just scored 2 goals into one of the best keepers in the world in the Champions League, are you taking him? Brendan's going to be biting your hand off for him. Well, do you know what? He's already here. Every fan in the building looked at him and looked at his evaluation and thought, no worth it. Would I took him for 5.5 million? Maybe no 9 million. He's well worth 9 million now. I believe, like, as much as Brendan wants to extend the squad, right, legends, we need to look at where Brendan failed in his career. When he goes to other clubs, he gets money to spend and he's quite successful. When he gets all the money he wants to spend, it leads to ruination and damnation. So I think maybe reining his spending in, for all he's not spent that much, but given the signings he has made, time to come to fruition. You said it yourself, Arne Engels, 11 million. Celtic fans were looking at him thinking, not really worth the money there, is he? We're looking at him now and thinking, wow, more than worth the money. Put another one in front of that, I'll give you 110 million for him, you know what I mean? Do whatever you got to do to get these guys signed. Bringing Jota in is revolutionary for me. You can scour the market with the best scouts you've ever seen in your entire life and not acquire a player of Jota's ability, calibre, and for the price that we got him for. Sometimes real life is stranger than fiction, and these scouts might be out there working their ass off and it's all dead end chases. How many have worked in sales, chasing things like that, and it looks like a great prospect and it all falls apart at the last second. Let's not judge the board, Brendan, too harshly. Brendan certainly seemed to be like he's still motivated. He wants to motivate the squad, and the board certainly seem to be like they're still backing Brendan. Well, not the way we want them to back him by spending the money on a striker instantly, but we did also sign Kieran Tierney there on a pre-contract in that window. So it should be like...
What's interesting as well, Kaiser, is the fact that the very next game after the transfer window, we go and batter somebody 6-0, and the striker scores 1 goal, and the rest of the goals come from all over the park, you know. So, so that actually goes in the board's favour, and they go, well, look, you seem to be doing all right, you know. Kind of thing.
We said that the other night, didn't we?
You get me, Andy? Sorry, Scotty. The board's looking at the figures and looking at the players and holding it up in front of Brendan like businessmen and go, show me where you need a striker. Point it. But so he does not, right, so we'll get rid of him then and we'll bring you a striker. That kind of business, that's what I picture in there.
Aye, that's what's been happening, lads. So let's look at the outgoings then, Andy. Stephen Welsh away on loan, young lad from the B team away to Ayr United on loan as well. Thiago Holm has just been a complete failure, really, hasn't he, since he's been at Celtic as well out on loan. Your pal Bernaby, crazy that we got that amount of money for him. Kyogo, I think somebody mentioned it earlier that we pulled Ren's pants down by giving him Kyogo and getting Jota. Could well be the case. Alex Valle leaves and goes to Como. And Lewis Palma goes to Olympiacos as well. Andy, who's your pick out of all of them? I think I've got a funny feeling who I know it might be. Crazy money for Bernaby, yeah?
The fact we turned a profit on that guy is absolutely unbelievable. I was really worried about getting rid of him because of the price we paid for him. I thought we just need to take a hit on it. The fact we turned a profit on it and got him out the door is just fantastic business. But I think we've spoken about in the past on the pod about as much as you can criticise the board, maybe penny punching and stuff like that. See, when it comes, and I just seen the thing about UEFA the day as well, talking about obviously it's pointless. Big wigs coming in, big sheiks coming in, and big sheiks. Sorry, no seats, sheiks coming in, sheiks, whatever you want to call them. With all the money, that it's not going to make any difference, because they're going to have to bring in, sustain themselves. You can't go pumping money into clubs willy-nilly. And I think when you look at Celtic, they're probably one of the best run clubs in the world for that when it comes to their transfer strategy, because they're always putting out more than what they bring in, as in they're always making more money on the players they sell than spending on the players that they bring in. It just shows you that. In this window, we've brought in Jota, and we're still, what's that work out as? About 6.3 million in the green or something. Am I right? So the fact that we've got Jota in, and especially after selling him 18 months ago for 25 million, we sell KT to Arsenal for 25 million, we're getting him back for nothing. So you look at the overall kind of bigger picture of things, business-wise, and I'm not talking about football-wise, because we're football fans, no businessmen, we're no business fans. But you want your club to be in a good foundation, and you've got to hold your horns up and say that they do very good business in keeping Celtic in the proper kind of financial state that we want them in. We don't want to be, all right, speculate to accumulate, but work within your limits, because we're in the Scottish game, remember, so we don't get a lot of kind of TV rights and stuff like that. So a lot of our business is fan-based in Champions League. But you've also got to look at towards next year, we're going to have to qualify for the Champions League. And that's going to be the most important game, is that qualifier, to get us into that big stage again. And it's about sustaining yourself after that in the Champions League. I'm talking about continually try to get to the knockout stage, and each year try and get better and better and better. And you're only going to do that with keeping your same kind of system in place. The question is Brendan Rodgers going to be here beyond his contract? That's a question that I'd like to know the answer to be quite honest with you. Because the way things are going, you want him to stay. You want him to stay more than his time, because he's the type of guy that can work on players and make them better players. We've seen that. So the more we continue that, the better. Whether that's in his plans to stay with Celtic, I don't know, but it's something I would like. That I would like is to have a bigger plan in place. No a 3-season plan. Go for a 10-season plan. Try and work to that standard. I don't know where I was going with that, mate. I don't even know where I've ended up or what the initial question was. I just got off on a mad rant, and I apologise for that.
No, you're fine. Paddy, one thing that Andy touched on there, it's quite a good point actually, is our outgoings. We brought in more money than what we spent, obviously, but we did get rid of a good bit of dead wood there. What's your sort of thoughts on the outgoings, mate? How did you see the outgoings going there?
The only one that I was bothered about was Kyogo's, Scott, to be quite honest. That's the only one that I'm not saying I lost any sleep over it, because I didn't, but I was disappointed to see Kyogo going. But again, if a player doesn't want to be there, sooner or later, then it's going to get to the stage where, it affects his performances. And we could see early on the season, and even then later on, that, it was, I think it must have been playing on the wee man's mind, because he just didn't look himself. But the rest of them were, like Stephen Welsh, for me, not good enough to start with. Has had plenty of chances, plenty of opportunities. Injury prone. We talked about Greg Taylor earlier on. Stephen Welsh seems to get injured every few weeks. Thiago Home, honestly, never saw it. I absolutely never saw it. I couldn't at any point say that I thought there was a player in there or one thing or another about him. The guy just didn't look as though he was anywhere close to being a Celtic player. Alex Fye wasn't our player to start with, so that was always going to be a certain amount of that could have been taken out of our control. Barcelona could have come in at any time and said, listen, we're bringing him back. He wasn't our player, so again, I'm not really bothered about him either. And Lewis Palma, again, just for me, the guy was too lightweight, too easily knocked off the ball, no pace. We flicks and tricks and plenty of stuff, but as we said on the pod before, coming up with a wee flash of genius once every 20 matches is not what's required as a Celtic player. And like you saw in how many appearances Jota a game and a bit. So far, you can see the difference in the quality between Jota and Lewis Palma. And you're actually thinking now, looking at Jota playing the other night, assuming he was fully match fit, you're thinking that Jota starts the games. Jota starts now, and that's what I'm saying. How many times have we watched Lewis Palma over the last couple of years and thought, yeah, he needs to start the next game? Never. Didn't happen, and it wouldn't happen. The guy's not good enough. It's as simple as that. So I'm not losing any sleep over any of the players that we let go. Brendan has obviously been told to trim the wage bill, get some of these guys off. If we're going to bring players in, we need to move a few guys on, and that's fine. That's business. That's what makes sense. You can see what happens when you don't do that at the other end of the city. You can see what happens when you don't stick to that, when you constantly bring players in, play them for a couple of years, don't sell them whenever they've a bit of value, and then you watch them walk out the door for nothing. That's kamikaze business, So for Celtic to bring in, it might only be a small profit or whatever, but you know what? If you're spending 10 million and you're bringing back in 7 or 6 or whatever, that's good business. You're in the green, and you're trimming the squad, and that you can see by that list of players what we've done there. We've actually released quite a few players there. Off that list, how many were actually contributing? Probably at the finish there, probably the only 2 players that were contributing there were Kyogo and Alex Vai. Probably the only 2 on that list that were making any kind of a contribution. So you've already got you've got rid of 6 or 7 there that really weren't producing, and you brought in 2, Jota and Jeffrey Sloop. And as we said earlier, you're also getting Kieran Tierney as well at the end of the season. So, on the whole, it's been a half decent window. Very disappointing that we didn't get the striker that we thought we would get. But you know what, we might get him in the summertime. But definitely happy enough with the business that was done in terms of the outgoings.
Yeah, outgoings, Kaiser. Sorry, Andy, go for it.
I just want to say, Kaiser, I think your mic's just a wee bit too low. I don't know if you can turn it up a bit. I don't know. Any use hearing that as well? As if it's just a wee bit quiet.
Can hear something.
Me? I'm quiet.
Aye, it's just really quiet. Aye.
I'll turn it up on the settings. Sorry, legends. Me adjusting
right,
the sound.
No, you're fine, mate.
Whatever's.
So Kaiser.
Sorry, is that better, mate? I've just turned it up full.
Aye, I think
it's got to be better there.
So Kaiser, the one player I want to talk about with yourself is Lewis Palma. Now he has went out on loan with an option to buy. I know he's not really been at the races for Celtic, but I think something that we need to touch on that a lot of folk maybe don't know, but he lost his grandfather and his grandmother in a short space of time. And for me, it's clearly affected the boy. And something that's not really been mentioned on podcasts that I've watched or anything like that. Your personal life can affect your work life sometimes, and I think that's what's happened with this young lad. And I think going back to Greece will give him that fresh impetus to get his form back. So I don't think it was the jersey was too big for him, the club was too big for him. I think it was more of his personal issues. And going back to Greece will hopefully help the young laddie out. But barring Lewis Palma, mate, was there anybody on there that sort of caught your eye on the outgoings, barring Kyogo, obviously?
Realistically, I think you nailed it there, talking about Palma. Palma for me, I like him as a player, bro, right? I know he's not done the best here, but he always struck me as he was that kind of player who's used to being the one shining light in a very poor side, so he only cares about his own performance and how his stats add up, and he could come on and play for Honduras and score 2 goals and get bet free too, and he'd be like, so I scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
It's like he's got that I only care about me attitude, and that just didn't really fit in when it came to playing with players of a better calibre like at Celtic. For me, on the outward ones, the one I'm most anticipating, the one I really want to work is Stephen Welsh. I really want Welsh to develop. I really want him to come back and actually be a player. And like the rest of the guys, the only thing I seen of Odin Thiago Holm was him do a somersault and catch the ball between his legs, which I thought was fantastic. I know he was on Golden Boy lists and he's clearly a player of talent, but exactly why he's not getting in our squad and matching up. I did pick him out as like when Matt O'Reilly left and before Arne Engels came in, I did think Brendan could really lean on Holm and develop him, but I think his temperament he displayed in the Champions League and getting that red card kind of sealed the deal very early on with Brendan for Odin Thiago Holm, which I wished was different, but it's not. It is what it is.
Aye. So that's us, ladies and gentlemen. That was our incoming, and our outgoings. Pretty good business. I think we're all disappointed we didn't get a striker, and as Michelle said in the comments as well, I think a centre half when they went amiss with Cameron Carter-Vickers' injury record. But great to get Kieran Tierney on a pre-contract as well. So pretty good business. And I'm just about to hand over to our Andy, who has now got this one for us, ladies and gentlemen.
The voice. You got a wee voiceover for that, and you get I don't know. I'm sure Kaiser can come up with some mad voice for that. I'll get him dancing about in his light up suit or something like that. Something nice. Right, so I've actually got 4 voices here, but I might just do the 3 and maybe keep one for a tiebreaker if required. So it's basically Celtic players or ex-Celts, 3 voices. So
comments off, lads.
Aye, comments off.
There we go.
Here we go. Voice number 1.
Like I said, I think a lot of games coming up, so you need every player that we have now in the squad, and there are a lot of players in the squad now, and I think there will be some suspension, some injuries, some form loss. So.
Like
I will play
players,
it again. I will play it again if required.
Or past
Well,
players.
I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you that. It's not going to make it too easy.
Alright, that's right. Right, alright.
Playing it again, mate? Can you play
Okay,
it again?
I will give you a clue. They don't play for Celtic anymore. But they all played for Celtic.
Can you play it again, pal, please? Sorry.
I will play it again, yep.
Like I said, I think a lot of games coming up, so you need every player that we have now in the squad, and there are a lot of players in the squad now, and I think there will be some suspension, some injuries, some form loss. So.
You need another play?
No.
No. Okay, let's start with Kaiser. Who have you got, mate?
I'm not writing it down, guys. Right, I'm just like outright guessing for the
voice.
Kind of Dutch tones to the voice and the accent, so I'm going to go for Virgil, big Virgil van Dijk.
Okay, Paddy?
I've gone for Morten Weghorst.
Morten Weghorst.
Oh.
Scotty?
You've went a bit Scandinavian, so I went for Stefan Johansson.
Oh.
So that was another one that I had in the mind as well.
Let's find out who that is. It was Jan Vennegoor of Wrestling.
Oh,
damn it. That was tough, man.
8 points.
That's a Jan's ears.
You get it in the comments, mate. Let me just have a quick check.
Aye, better
Nope. Quite a few Virgil van Dijks, a few Mialbys, but
it was the Dutch tones that I was picking up, and Johansson as well. I was thinking that as well, Scotty, mate. That was another one that was dicing between.
Right, good one, Andy. Good one.
Well, here is player number 2.
Yeah, but the refs, he's made a mistake. He's come out and lied about it, said he lied. And you just got to let other people deal with it. We deal with the football, getting the points and pushing up the table.
Who can that be?
Oh, I know what incident that is.
I will play it again, but just to get your minds thinking there.
I know exactly what incident that is as well. He's talking about.
Shut up, Scott. You're putting me off.
I'll play it again, right? Here it comes again.
Yeah, but the refs, he's made a mistake. He's come out and lied about it, said he lied. And you just got to let other people deal with it. We deal with the football, getting the points and pushing up the table.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with Scotty. Let's go with you first, mate.
I believe it's Gary Hooper, and it was that penalty kick where the referee gave it, then he went out to the linesman, and the linesman... Dundee United game. I think it's Gary Hooper.
Gary Hooper. Paddy, who have you got?
Aye, same for me. I went for Gary Hooper too.
Hooper. Kaiser?
Yeah, mate, I just noticed the accent and I went for Matt O'Reilly, actually. I didn't even go for Hooper.
Okay. And the player was... 2 seconds, I need to scroll up to the overlays now to get to. It was Gary Hooper. And it was that instant, Scotty.
Yeah.
It was that instant.
Yeah.
Well done, Paddy. Well done, Scotty. Unlucky, Kaiser.
Let's have a look at comments, mate, quickly, sorry. Yeah, quite a few got it, mate.
Okay, here is voice number 3.
Yeah, it's getting better every day, of course. So, yeah, we'll see after this 2 weeks, after the 4 games.
Anything happening in the minds, anything rattling about in there?
Yeah, got an idea, but I'd like to hear it again.
Okay, I'll play it again. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, it's getting better every day, of course. So, yeah, we'll see after this 2 weeks, after the 4 games.
Let's go with Paddy.
I went for Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil van Dijk. Kaiser?
Yeah, me too, mate. I went for Big Virgil as well.
Okay.
I thought I was wrong earlier on, but I can't be wrong twice. Except being
Scotty.
wrong twice.
Big Shagger as well, mate. Big Shagger as well, yeah.
Big VVD.
And it was, argues correct. That is the question we are going to find out right now. It was Virgil van Dijk.
Big Virgil.
I think that was that Dubai they were in? No, can't mind. Might have not been.
Saltcoats.
Saltcoats
on sea. Mate. It certainly looks like Saltcoats. So where are we now? Scotty's got 2, Paddy's got 2, Kaiser's got 1. So Kaiser, you're out, mate. It's between Paddy and Scotty, so we'll play this tiebreaker here, okay?
Ooh.
This is voice number 4, the tiebreaker. Here we go.
Straight back, but we've had a good recoveries out there, recovery sessions, and we still trained out there, but it was sort of a mental,
Got it. Did we shout it out or?
Go for it.
Scott Sinclair.
Scott Sinclair. Paddy, did you have MD?
No.
It was Scott Sinclair.
Well done, Scotty boy.
Yes, it was Scott Sinclair. This man. Clip for the interview.
I remember his voice when he came in and he caught me and his ex-missus in the hotel. So that's
Aye.
all it was.
Old wee Helen Flanagan. Well done, Scotty. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
played.
Andy.
Well
That
played,
was...
I'll need to get the big Welsh X Factor voice for that.
Aye,
The voice.
Aye, definitely, mate. Aye, definitely.
Brilliant, Andy. Thank you so much. That was brilliant. Well done, Paddy.
Thank
well
you.
done, Kaiser. Well done,
Good
everybody
boys, yep.
in the comments as well. That was
Well done,
excellent.
chat.
So we move on to our next segment, which is... Andy's fucked off. He's
I'm not running away. I'm just getting a can, mate. Just getting a can.
Andy stole my idea. Run!
Run, Forrest, run!
Get the word out of here. It's a spelling bit.
Anyway.
So, gentlemen, I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conundrums for you this evening. And I've tried to throw you off a wee bit because he's probably thought I was going to do ex-Raith Rovers and Celtic players, didn't he? So I've changed it up a wee bit this week.
Oh.
I've changed it up a wee bit this week. I've done shirt sponsors of Celtic over the years.
Oh.
Something different.
Yep.
So the first one this evening for you, gentlemen, is Borum. Borum. Your 30 seconds start now. It is Borum. And comments off as well, remember, gentlemen.
Umbro. First in with the buzzer.
Addy.
I went for Umbro as well, Scotty. How long? Umbro.
They start off easy and they get harder, lads. You know how
we
it
know
goes.
that, yeah.
Don't steal it away from me, Scotty. All right, I'm living my best life here. I'm about to pull the pyro out from under the table.
It was Umbro. Give yourselves a point. Well done, gentlemen. And next up is Mr. Sitch. Mr. Sitch. 30 seconds. Start now. Mr. Sitch.
Yeah, by the way, Scott, since I changed that countdown, it feels as if it's longer than 30 seconds, but it isn't. I had to do it for copyright reasons. Honestly, because it was the same as a countdown, man. They were taking money off us when we were monetised. We don't happen to be monetised now. But, aye, bastards.
Who have you got, Andy?
I have got first ever sponsor, C.R. Smith.
Correct. 1984. Paddy.
Yep. C.R. Smith for me too, Scotty.
And Kaiser.
Yeah, same here, mate. No pen and paper, but C.R. Smith. I'm not copying, you know what I mean?
Wait a minute here, we're going to have to go to Kaiser first, you know.
VAR.
Go to me first, mate.
We know where Andy gets accused of cheating, so we need to...
Emotional damage.
We need to keep an eye on this Kaiser here. We need to keep an eye on him. So, next up, ladies and gentlemen, is Jersman. Jersman. Your 30 seconds start now. Cheers, man. Let's go to Kaiser first.
It's Magners, mate.
It's Magners. Paddy.
This is spelling
Magners for me too, Scotty.
And Andy.
Magners.
It was indeed Magners. Well done, gentlemen. 3 each. These are flying here. Let's see if it continues. Next up is Sloppy. Sloppy. Your 30 seconds starting now. Sloppy. Kaiser.
People's my man, because we're the people's now.
Oh, Andy.
Yes, the worst fucking shot sponsor in the club's history, that big fucking red monstrosity.
Yes, with the blue and the Celtic top, Paddy.
Yeah, people's for me too, Scotty.
That Ford sign, it's the worst ever Celtic top ever. It was, ladies and gentlemen, People's, and we're all on 4 each here. I don't know what's happening. I don't think this has ever happened before. Let's see if we can all get
One
the
of you
full
two
out.
losers is going to need to lose. One of yous to, because this is spelling and I'm dominating. He's a long one, Scotty. I'm up for it. Give me it.
The last one for you this evening is Roscoe. 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 Kaiser shaking his head.
Just not got it, mate. I'm
Andy.
I've got nothing.
Aye, I could only get this course, but
Course, okay.
I-
Paddy.
Aye, that's what I went for too. Same for me. Good, but
Course. It's like Duffman.
The 2006 US tour that Celtic took part in, the shirt was sponsored.
aye, there you are.
Course.
Wow.
aye. So, aye, it was just a temporary thing. It wasn't a
Yep.
permanent. Aye.
Yeah. So well done, Paddy. Well done, Andy. 5 each. Kaiser on 4. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was. Well done. Brilliant. Just having a
we
wee
not got a tie?
comments. Quite a few
Have we
people
not got a
got.
tiebreaker?
There's no tiebreaker. We'll just get a wee.
Andy,
Yeah, like
spell
glory.
pumpkin.
Hey, what?
Pumpkin.
POOMKEN.
Paddy, spell xylophone.
Oh.
These are all words I can't spell. These are the words I cannot spell.
Ladies and gentlemen, to finish off, our next match is the game tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. kickoff at Celtic Park. Let's have a discussion then, lads. We know who the goalkeeper is going to be now. Andy, start writing your teams down, folks.
Yep.
Get them in the comments in the chat. Let us know what your starting 11 is tomorrow. Andy, what's your starting 11, mate? Do you think there's going to be wholesale changes like myself? I think there's going to be. I think there's going to be 5, 6, 7 changes tomorrow at least. I think Daiza Maeda will start, obviously, because he's suspended for the Bayern Munich game. So give me your starting 11, lads. Start writing them down and let me know what they are and how you think the game's going to go. Andy, go for it.
Obviously, Siniso and goals. I can see Ralston coming in for AJ. I'm stuck between Trusty and Narovsky, by the way, because I think Narovsky might get a wee a wee run out here. I know he's kind of out the picture. I think it was his birthday the day of yesterday, so it might be a wee birthday present for him. Scales, I think, is going to come in, so I think CCV is going to get rest. Whether Trusty and Scales play together at centre back, I don't know. I think you're going to see Big Sloop coming in place of Greg Taylor. Up front, I'm going to go with Yang, Maeda, and Kenny. And in the middle of the park, I think I'm going to go McCowan, Bernardo.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know if I think he's going to rest Calmac. I'll go with Calmac. So I'll go with McCowan, Bernardo, and Calmac in the middle of the park.
Aye, it's an interesting debate, this, what he's going to do tomorrow. Edward there thinks that he's going to go full strength like our Kaiser. Kaiser thinks that as well. It's good that you're getting your teams in. Paddy, are you with Kaiser or are you with myself? Wholesale changes? What are you sort of thinking? There's loads of different teams coming in at the minute, and there seems to be a sort of split in the support, I would say, as to what Brendan's going to do tomorrow. What's your thoughts, pal?
Do you know what? I'm going to give you the team, and then I'm going to give you my rationale. Put it that way. So, I honestly think there'll be major changes. And he's going to depart from the norm. He doesn't normally make wholesale changes, and sometimes it doesn't pay off for you. But I think it's just because of the enormity of the game on Wednesday night. You know, any kind of a decent result that we can get in Glasgow on Wednesday night gives us a massive chance of taking a huge scalp in the Champions League. So, with all due respect to Wraith Rovers, you know, we should have the squad. If we replaced every single player in the starting lineup, we should have more than enough in the locker to beat what's going to be coming tomorrow. So I'm going to go for the Sinisalo. Is obviously, we know he's going to be in goal. So the back four for me is going to be Ralston, Scales, Trusty, and Jeffrey Sloop. So he's going to give a run out to these guys. The CCV is the one he's going to wrap in cotton wool for tomorrow. He's the one who's kind of most injury prone. The three midfielders, I'm going to go for Paulo Bernardo, Luke McCowan, and I'm going to pick Callum McGregor. I think he will get Callum to lead the team out, get the job done, and then he can take him off. So that's my three. And my front three are Maeda, Ida, and Jota. So he's going to go more or less full strength up front. And the reason behind that is because A, Maeda's suspended, and B, Jota still needs the minutes in his legs.
Yeah.
Adam Ida for me is another one. I was toying between Ida and Johnny Kenny, but I think Big Ida's in a good vein of form, but he's still a work in progress there, and he needs games, he needs minutes. So the more goals that Big Ida can score, the more his confidence will be, will continue to rise. So that's my lineup there. I think he's going to go full strength up front, but yes, he will make a number of changes for tomorrow.
Spot on, mate. Spot on. And Kaiser, you are under the impression that he's going to go strong, mate, which is...
Yeah.
And there's people in the chat that agree with you, mate. So, I mean, just give us your thinking behind it and what's your team. Obviously, Schmeichel isn't going to start, but barring that, are you thinking full strength?
Yeah. I'm Scotty. I was wanting to play the pleading to what I've heard here in chat not, but I'm going to stick to my guns and I'm going to go, other than the keeper change, the fact that if Casper was in goals, then I would think we would change more about the defensive setup and what's out in front. But the fact that Sinisalo is in there, I think we're going to go full strength. I can see us going AJ, CCV, Trusty, and Taylor on the left, and then maybe bring in the changes later on, bring in Big Dragon Sloop. In the middle, I see us going Engels, Callum McGregor, and Rio Hitate, Dyson Maeda on the right wing, Adam Ida up front, and Jota on the left. Get at least 60 minutes in Jota's legs. Got 5 substitutions there. It's for me, it start strong and bring them off when the job's done, rather than have them sitting on the bench and throw them on to get the job done, should it be required. But as you said, Scotty, everyone's got a different opinion. That's what makes it amazing about doing this. That's what it's all about.
Of course, mate, and loads of people, like I said, they're agreeing with you. We look at the Falkirk game as a perfect example, lads. Where he made all the changes and it didn't work. I think the squad is tighter now, though. and a lot better than what it was for the Falkirk game, if I'm being honest. I think the two guaranteed starters tomorrow is going to be Sinisolo and Maeda. They're going to be the two certainties. There's no point in leaving Maeda on the bench or not even giving him a game because, as we know, he's suspended for the Bayern Munich game. So I expect wholesale changes. I don't think he'll risk Cameron Carter-Vickers because of his injury record and keeping him for the Bayern Munich game, obviously. I don't think he'll risk either. So I think Johnny Kenny will come in. It's pointless playing Adam Idah and Carter-Vickers tomorrow. I agree with Paddy. I think that regardless who we put out tomorrow, it should be strong enough to beat Raith Rovers. And it's as simple as that. So let's go down the table and get them in on the comments as well. What's your score prediction, Andy?
I fancy a 3-0 scoreline. Celtic, obviously.
3-0, okay. Paddy?
I'll go one better. I'll go for 4-0.
And Kaiser, what are you thinking?
6-0 all the way. We're hammering this mob. Come on, full strength, straight out. Absolutely scalp them. Kaiser's full of confidence, he always is. Always end up looking stupid, but 6-0, let's go. Into it.
So we've got a 3-0, a 4-0 and a 6-0. I'm going to go for 5-0. So we've got we've completed the full house.
Here we go. Bingo.
I think we'll absolutely pump them tomorrow, regardless what team we put out. We're just flying at the minute. I think something that Brendan mentioned last season that he's not said this season because he doesn't have to say it this season, but this is when Celtic come alive.
Yeah.
At this time of the year, this is when we come alive, and I just see us absolutely battering every day from now to the end of the season, domestically anyway. Hopefully in Europe as well, but I think we're going to absolutely destroy Raith Rovers tomorrow, regardless of what team we put out. So let's hope it's a good show, and we'll be joining you for the post-match show straight after the game. I just want to quickly touch on the Bayern Munich game, lads, because we're not really going to get the chance to talk about it before the actual game. So, Andy, what are you thinking realistically? You know, do you see us getting a result on Wednesday night?
I'm hopeful. I think that we've got the ability to do it. If we put in a performance that we did against Leipzig, then we've got every chance of getting a good result, a positive result. I think you could be looking at possibly a 2-1 or something like that if we really play a game. Any kind of win would be good to take away.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more goals we score, the better. But as long as we win, I think it's important that we win. I think even if we go there with a draw, it's going to be tough to go to Munich with, even if it's a draw. So I think we should go all out for the win. It's a knockout point in a competition now, so people are expecting us to get absolutely scalped. So, you know, the best form of defence is attack. So let's just play to our strengths, mate. We've got an absolutely fantastic front line. All right, Maeda's missing for the first game. We've got Jota there. We've got Kuhn. We've got pace. We've got skill. We've got goal scorers for either side. And Biggie does on fire now as well. So I think we should be getting into the game with confidence, and quite rightly so. We deserve to be where we are. We deserve to be up against Bayern Munich. We're not just here to make up the numbers. And I'm pretty sure Brendan's going to have that drummed into the players' minds that you're not just here to take part. You know, we're here to take over. So let's get tore into us, mob. This is your chance to shine. And can you imagine if we actually get beyond Bayern Munich, what that is going to do for our club? Amazing. So I think positive thoughts for me. I'm going to put all the negativity. I know I go on about games like this and you're 12 couches, you're hiding behind 12 couches and it's still not enough. I'm going to be sitting there with confidence, mate, and belief in our club and our players that we've got the ability to go there. And plus, the fans are going to be there. They're going to absolutely go in their thousands to support the club they love. And I can't wait to see them there. They're going to make their voices heard. And they're going to be a superb backing for the players. So I think, sorry, I'm talking about the second leg there, but I think obviously the fans at Celtic Park can push the players on to a positive result. And I think it's important. Just touching on the two ties here, I know we're talking about the Celtic one. I'm just talking about, obviously, Maida's going to be back for that second tie as well. So if we can come out of this first tie with a positive result, Maida is going to give them an absolute nightmare over there. You know he is, because they've never, I bet they've never faced a player like him, that defence. And I think it was Big Rambo. I seen him on a podcast talking about just a wee bit. They're top of the league, but they're just a wee bit vulnerable. You know, you can get to them. The fact they're in the same position as us as well in the playoffs to get into this next round shows you that they're not in the top 8 of Europe when it comes to that. You know, I think overall we had a good performance against Villa for parts. Villa finished above them, above Bayern Munich, so you'd expect Munich to be in that top 8 of Europe, wouldn't you? Given their history, every other year they're thereabouts. So I think we've got a chance, and it's up to us to take it, mate. So I'm buzzing for it, absolutely buzzing.
I think one of the things that Andy mentioned there, Paddy, was with Maida being out. I think a few weeks ago we'd be looking at playing Yang against Bayern Munich, mate. You know, if we hadn't signed Jota. But now the difference is that we've got Jota to come into this game, mate, which is massive. I think we're going to get a positive result on Wednesday. I'm really confident, mate. I think just the crowd, I know they're a massive club and that they're used to playing in these atmospheres and things like that, but there's just something very, very special about Celtic Park on a Champions League night. And for years, we haven't had that bit between our teeth, but we've got it back now. I think this is the year we've got it back. And I think we're going to shock a few people in Europe on Wednesday night and get a positive result, mate. Yourself?
Absolutely, Scott. You know, it's dare to dream times. Definitely, absolutely dare to dream. That's what this competition is all about. You know, this is where you can see the difference in the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. This is the Big Boys Cup, and you're in now with the best of the best. You know what? The one thing that we need to get we need to get some kind of a positive result, and what we need to do is give ourselves a chance in the second game. That's what we want to do. As I said to you all night, that's the great thing about European football for me. Has opened up, as the opportunity has opened up now, because there's no away goals. That used to be the death knell for many teams, because especially the Italians and the Germans and all those good defensive teams, they would have come away from home, scored an away goal, and then they would defend it for their lives. So that's gone now. So that we don't even need to worry about, that's where we couldn't go gung ho at Celtic Park in case we lost an away goal in the break. Doesn't matter if you lose a goal on Wednesday night. Any kind of result that we get on Wednesday night that gives us a foothold for the second game, a fighting chance. Just turn it. If we can turn it into 90 minutes in Munich, us against them, and that's what this game's about. 3 or 4-0. That's not going to happen. Even Aston Villa only beat them 1-0 in the group stage. They're still a quality side. They're top of the Bundesliga, and they're top of the Bundesliga for a reason. They've got quality all over the field, and they have players who can hurt us. But we have players who can hurt them as well. So listen, any kind of result at all that would give us a fighting chance in the second leg, because as Andy says, we will get Dyson Maida back. We'll have more minutes in the legs of the likes of Aramida and the likes of Jota in the second game. We will be a different animal. So listen, I'll take a 1-0, I'll take a 1 each, I'll take a 2-1, anything that gives us a fighting chance in Munich, and that's all you're asking. If we can get this down to 90 minutes between us and Bayern in the stadium in Munich, that's all we're asking for. And as I say, anything can happen. And as I said to you earlier, guys, that's what it's about. Dare to dream. We need new heroes. We had European heroes in the past. We remember Wanyama's goal. We remember Tony Watt's goal. We remember Henrik Larsson's goals. This is a chance for the likes of Nicholas Kuhn, for Jota, for Ida, for these guys to stand up and make themselves heroes. And you know that you score goals for Celtic in these types of games and win the game, you'll be talked about for 100 years. So it's a chance for the players to really, really make a name for themselves and go down in the history of the club. This tie against Bayern Munich, if we were to some way get through this tie and into the next round, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. A game changer for the club and a game changer for every single player in our squad. All of a sudden, Europe, every big club in Europe's looking at all our players. That's the crowd that beat Bayern Munich. You saw that with Aston Villa, the big guy that scored the goal. He's away in the January transfer window. The next window that opens, he's gone. That's what doing well in this competition can do for you. It can propel your club to another level. It can propel your players to another level. And for ourselves, the likes of Maida, the likes of Kuhn, the likes of Ida, if we were to knock out Bayern Munich and these guys do the business, the next time that a club comes looking for these players, you're not going to be talking 25 million. You're going to be talking 35, 40 million. You know what I mean? So just dare to dream, guys. Just dare to dream. Get out there, get it done. You're playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. You're representing the fan base. You're representing the people. And as I say, it's a chance for you to make a name for yourselves. So listen, I have no fears whatsoever. We'll go out there, give a good account of ourselves. But what I want to see at the end of the day is us having a fighting chance in Munich.
Paddy, can you just do the team talk for the players on Wednesday night, sir? That was fantastic. Guys, no pressure, mate. Follow that.
No pressure at all, man. Paddy's echoing my sentiments exactly. I'm the most positive person kicking around. I actually think we're going to get a result at Paradise, and it's prime for us to get a result away as well. I think we've got Maeda coming back for that second tie, Kuhn, and play Jota up front, play Maeda through the middle, Jota left, Kuhn right. Absolutely lightning pace. Hopefully if we can get anything in this first game, carry that over to the second tie that makes them come out and actually try and play against us. We can hit them on the counter in a Bergamo-esque performance and take this tie. I don't only back us to win this home tie, I back us to win through this entire tie. All the way. And I know we've been there before, we're Celtic fans, right? We charge head first into log forests with zero light. We're used to taking it to the side of the head, to the side of the face. We're used to getting these bad results. I felt like it before we went to Dortmund as well. We were primed for a result. We're on the cusp of it. You can feel it. It's scratching beneath the surface. This squad is on the cusp of arriving. It's like this game, given the form, the way players are playing coming into this game, Daisen Maeda in the form of his absolute life, and I know he won't be there, but the squad will be out there running through walls, trying to keep him out for the next game. Whoever is there, it will be absolutely electric. No side in the world, right? I've said it 100 times before. When we beat Barcelona at Paradise, what was the difference between beating Barcelona at Paradise and performing away under Gordon Strachan? Number one, 60,000 Celtic fans made those players raise their game to an unbelievable level. The man responsible for making your players raise their game when you're away is the manager. He needs to take the place of 60,000 fans. Now, Martin O'Neill, I watched do it and was absolutely impeccable at it. Gordon Strachan, different kind of manager. The fans propelled us. That's why we had such an amazing home record, but a kind of poor away record. Brendan, for me, it's a mirror of symmetry. The way Brendan came into the club, running forward, he diminished until he left. We've put that mirror against it. He's come in small, and it's growing. It's just growing all the way. The squad's growing. The performances are growing. Brendan Ball is growing. We are all behind it. We can't wait for it to happen. I just want to grab Rafe Rovers by the ears, hump them into submission, throw them on the sideline, and let's march to Paradise for this next game. But yeah, all respect to Rafe Rovers. Just hurry up and get pumped.
So let's finish off then, ladies and gentlemen, by going round the table. Andy, give me your prediction for Celtic versus Bayern Munich on Wednesday night, when we'll be back for the post-match show straight after the game as well.
I'm really tempted to go for 3-1 to Celtic, but I think I'm going to go with 2-1. 2-1 to Celtic. And I think Kuhn and Jota will score.
Okay. Paddy, what are you thinking, mate?
I'm going to go 1-0, Scotty. I'll go for the 1-0. We don't keep an awful lot of clean sheets, I know, but you know what? If we can defend the way we did against Atalanta, and there will be times on Wednesday night when we're going to have to defend, there's no question about that. We won't have it all our own way against a team of this quality. But if we can take one of the chances, when you look back at the games that we've played over the last number of weeks, including the European games, when you think of the number of chances that we create, you know, we scored 2 goals at Villa Park. We could have scored 4. You know what I mean? We create an awful lot of chances, and now we've got a much fitter Aramida in the team. We've got Jota in the team as well. You've got Nicholas Kuhn. You've got other options there. So I'm going to go for us to nick a goal and a really solid defensive performance. The crowd to do their part and Celtic to come out with a wee 1-0 and just give us exactly what I want, a fighting chance in the second leg in Munich.
Kaiser, what is your prediction, sir?
Oh, Kaiser's insanium. Kaiser's always insanium. I think the Celtic are going to... I'm going for 4-1 for the mighty Celtic. I think we're going to do them. I think they might get one, just considering Harry Kane's there and he's a very dangerous player, right? But Big Adam Ida's up front. I'm going for Big Ida to get 2, Kuhn to get 1, and Jota to get 1. I'm going for 4-1 Celtic. We carry the advantage into the next game. They need to come out and play against us. They need to come out and fight. Bring out your black and tans. Bring them forward, and we'll put them to the sword with the pace we've got up front. That's my opinion on the entire tie. First leg, let's see how it goes in the first leg, and then we'll judge the second leg, our legends. But definitely for me, I see he's putting them to the sword. And I know how good a side they are. I know how excellent they are. And I know everybody's sitting out there going, geez, Kaiser, you're insane. Let's not forget, right? They actually played in the Champions League there. And was it the Dutch side?
3-0.
Done them. I thought it was 5-0 they done them, Andy.
3-0, I think it was.
I'm sure they get turned over a couple of times. Yeah. They're not infallible. We can get in about them. They have got great strikers, great midfielders, but so do we. We have amazing pace and amazing ability up there. I mean, let's look at Daisen Maeda, just for talking's sake. I know he won't be playing the first game, but he will be there the second game. Japanese striker, the main man for Japan. They're looking at, I think they're actually putting pressure on their players to get them into top 5 leagues because they think they can go further in the World Cup than they went before. And all credit to them if that's what they're going to do. But yeah, it's all for us. It's the ball's in our court here. The emphasis is on us. We need to take best foot forward and give them a scudding, in my opinion.
Aye. Bang on, lads.
Incidentally, I think Harry Kane would score a lot. I know he scores a lot of goals, but he'd score a lot more if he took that fucking mattress out his mouth. I'm telling you.
What about yourself, Scotty? What's your view on it?
I fancy 2-0, lads. I'm really confident. I just think the place will be electric. I think we're going to get an early goal, and then we're going to get one in the second half as well, and just contain them and just overwhelm them. I think. I don't think they're going to have played a team like us this season, especially at Celtic Park. The atmosphere, the noise, the pace that we play at. I just think we're going to overwhelm them, and we're going to go over to Germany with a comfortable 2-0 win, and hopefully defend for our lives when we get over there. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I think, and let's see. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is us for this evening. We've had a good wee show for you. We'll be back tomorrow night after the Raith Rovers game for a post-match show. And then Kaiser will have his show on Tuesday morning. Will be the next one after that, 11:30 a.m. UK time. Yes. Then we'll have the post-match show for the Bayern Munich game, obviously, on Wednesday night. Kaiser will have his show again on the Thursday morning. And then we'll have the Friday focus, and our Alec Baldwin should be back with us next Friday night as well. So lots of podcasts for you now at the 4 Leaf Clover podcast. We're trying to keep busy, try to give you the content you all deserve. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Paddy. Thank you, Kaiser. Great to see you as always. Thank you so much for all your comments. If this is the first time watching this podcast, please get involved. Like, share, subscribe, and get involved in the comments. We've got a cracking wee community here, as you've probably seen in the comments. That's us. We look forward to Raith Rovers tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. All the best.
Hail, hail,
hail.